All right, so this is against one of the toughest matchups that you can face as a fire user. Any triple reflect spear is very difficult to deal with, but let me teach you one trick that you can use against triple reflex that will make your life a lot easier as a fire user. GG, sir. Oh, early 700k, boys. All right, so this is against one of the toughest matchups that you can face as a fire user. This is the triple reflect Daybreaker. Any triple reflect spear is very difficult to deal with, but let me teach you one trick that you can use against triple reflex that will make your life a lot easier as a fire user. So the triple reflect that I'm talking about is the deflecting spin, the hunter hood, and the inferno shield, all reflecting damages or reflecting defensives. Plus, this actually gives them a lot of defensives as well. All right, the first thing that you always want to do is start with your Q. When you start with your Q, most of the time they are going to use their deflecting spin to, reflect the damages. And that hurts. That hurts so much as a fire user. The thing that you want to do is you want to use your firewall. You always want to use your firewall. They're using deflecting spin. Go towards the enemy. Use firewall. Make sure you have enough separation between you. It actually interrupts the deflecting spin and it doesn't really reflect your damages. Okay, after that, just keep on tagging them with your Q. They will be forced to use their boots ability or any movement to go past this firewall. All you got to do is to go on the other side of the firewall, so you still have that separation that they do not dare to cross. All right, after that, they are most likely going to pop another defensive, another reflect, and once they use their hunter hood, it is now time to use your cleric robe. I know the Daybreaker can actually purge, but you want to counter their hunter hood with your cleric robe. After the cleric robe activates, full cast into the pyroblast, and I actually got a little lucky here. I got lucky here because he used his purge to purge my cleric robe, and his hunter hood literally just ran out as soon as I used my full cast E. So he took damage. I did not take a lot of damage in this engage. So the last one, he's most likely going to use his Inferno Shield. I activated my Hunter Hood. Now his Inferno Shield does give him more resistances, but less reflect. Mine gives less resistances, but more reflect. So I'm more than happy to actually trade shots here. Even though he has reflect, I'm more than happy to trade shots because I know he's not going to attack me because I have a higher reflex. All right, one last shot here. He's going to use his last deflecting spin. I already have my firewall. I use the same strategy, just firewall that to cancel the heals or cancel the reflect. One last Q and into a full cast E because he doesn't have any reflex. He already used his deflecting spin. He already used his Hunter Hood. He already used his Inferno Shield. So at a full cast E, that is going to be GG. Okay, so I'm okay with this. GG, sir. It was just a battle of patience there. So this match is against a Trinity Spear, which is the hardest counter to any Fire Staff build. So he was using the Trinity Spear with the reflect on the W, Purge and Cleric Robe, which is again not even a very high spec build here or high tier build, but this build slaps fire staffs all around because of the deflecting spin and because of this leap. This leap with the movement speed, attack speed buff with the 3 stacks on Spear, which increases their normal attack damage by 25 or 28% and stacks up to 3 times for 8 seconds. It's insane. Plus, it increases their attack range by 40% for 8 seconds as well. So my strategy here really was to be as patient as possible. Be as patient as possible. Tag him with Q as far as possible. So he actually is using his deflecting spin. If you look over here, he's using his deflecting spin whenever I use my Q. Now that is his only reflect. His only reflect really is the deflecting spin. Although it has low cooldown, that is his one and only reflect, which can be used to our advantage. So the strategy here is not to get hit by his E. So as soon as I'm chasing him down, right? As soon as he turns, I turned as well. Because I want to keep that distance. I don't want to get caught by his E, take like insane amount of damage, be in the middle of the puddle with his buff. That's just no good. So as soon as he uses that, I should just try to move away. He used his boots. I used my Cleric Robe here on purpose because I know he has Purge. He purged that, which was part of the plan, and then I just used boots. Now he doesn't have Purge. He does have deflecting spin on the reflect, but he no longer has that Purge, which is good for us. He also uses Cleric Robe in the process. I don't know why he uses Cleric Robe. So he's out of Cleric Robe, he's out of Purge. Now he only has the deflecting spin. And then now he uses it here. He canceled it. As soon as he canceled it, I full casted my E. Why? Because it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have reflect, no Purge, no Cleric Robe. Into a full cast E, 662 damage. But even then, we have the same health here. Even then, I still wanted to keep my distance up until I have my Hunter Hood. Once I have my Hunter Hood, he doesn't have anything to counter it. I just stay near him. And that's it. So I baited him to use his Purge and his Cleric Robe. He doesn't have any defensives. His only counter really is the deflecting spin, which I can counter with the firewall. And as soon as he used all of that, I still had my Hunter Hood, popped it, and that's it. You have to be really, really patient against these kinds of builds though, because Trinity Spears are very difficult to deal with as a fire user. So just be patient. Oh man, everything valuable trash though. So this is against this build right here. A very unusual build for a Daybreaker. He was initially using the triple reflect, but he kept on losing multiple engages. So I guess he decided to switch his W ability for the hook, which is one of the worst in my opinion if you're going against fire. Yes, I understand that you can pretty much counter the channeling skills, but you're not really going to get a lot of benefit from that. Okay, so he lost multiple times with this specific setup, and he decided to switch to Harpoon after, running around for what feels like 10 minutes. Okay. Strategy here is still the same against Spears. You use your Q ability. Okay, he switched to Harpoon. Use your Q ability to deal initial damage. He was trying to implement a trap play where he tries to harpoon me into traps and just let me stay there, I guess. Look at this. He already has 8 bats, so he has been running around for quite a bit. So that's the play. It's not very effective in my opinion. As soon as he actually activated that, hooked me near him, I started tagging him with my Q abilities, activated my Hunter Hood right away actually, because I was in a relatively confined space with him. There are traps here, there are traps here. So activating your Hunter Hood in these kinds of situations prevents your opponents from attacking you that much. So less damage on your end. And if they keep on attacking you, they're just going to receive a lot of damage. He activated his Hunter Hood. That prompted me to use my Cleric Robe right into a full cast of the E. But look at that. He actually purged. He purged my Cleric Robe, which is the right play. He actually got hits. He got hit by that E as soon as his Hunter... Notice his Hunter Hood. As soon as his Hunter Hood expires, he got hit by that E. Not a lot of damage though. Not a lot of damage even though it's a full cast. So at this point, I know he doesn't have Hunter Hood. I know he doesn't have Purge. He doesn't have Deflecting Spin. He doesn't have his Armor of Valor. So it's pretty much open season here. Tag him with a Q. Use the firewall to keep the distance. Be accurate with your Q still. I tried to avoid that trap, which worked. Use my boots. And as you can see, he was pretty much trapped here. Used his... He used his Harpoon. I was actually waiting for him to use his Harpoon. He used his Harpoon. As soon as he used that, I tried to full cast my E. Boom. And then 1 Q. And that's all she wrote. Easy. Okay. All right. Okay. This is going to be tough.